So you're driving around in your F-150, and someone decides that they want to go 50 in a 70. So you floor it. And your truck has
so much torque, the chassis twisted coming off the line.
But in reality, you get the dreaded flashing engine light because your EcoBoost powered F-150 decided it want to play a game, and the key is actually inside the engine. You're not even worried because this is just a normal day in EcoBoost ownership. In fact, I never ever leave the house without my key or this full set of 6 spark plugs because you just never know when you're gonna need them. And it turns out that that day is today. Now, in case you've never changed spark plugs in an EcoBoost F-150, this is actually one of the easiest vehicles to work on. There's tons of space under the hood, and all you really need to do is open your hood, place your 6 spark plugs right there, grab a lighter, open your gas cap, and sorry, that's actually how to change the engine in your F-150. Wrong video, we'll update that one later. But all jokes aside, this is actually a really simple job that anyone could do. So you start by literally just removing the engine cover, and it comes off like nothing. I'm gonna take the oil cap off, just put that off to the side. The cover, of course, camera shy, doesn't want to work. Comes right off. And now Ford uses a coil on plug design. Again, an absolute, like, just massive amount of space under the hood of this truck. And the only tools you really need are super, super basic, that even the most average toolkit will have. It literally just consists of an 8mm wrench and your spark plug socket. And that's literally all you need. Very, very simple. So you can literally just start with loosening off the coils. They come off very easy. It is a small size bolt on there, so not very much torque in there to begin with. I guess I kind of lied. You'll also need a flat screwdriver because you got to pull this little tab back here, and once you have that out, that allows you to pinch the wire off. And then once you have that, you just pull this clip back. The coil comes right out like nothing. Highly suggested to not be shy about changing these coils, as they really don't last very long on these trucks. Now, this might be one of those, you do you moments, but I would highly suggest probably just doing 1 spark plug at a time in case something, God forbid, happens and you just happen to crack something or break a coil. At least you can limp yourself to the store if you really need it to. And it feels like I've had, just the greatest luck, because I also just did this throttle body the other day on this truck. Also an extremely common thing to go wrong on the EcoBoost. However, again, very, very easy to fix. 4 bolts, 1 plug, remove this, done. And after we cracked one, not too bad, just unscrew it. Drop the old magnet down the hole. Okay, I guess it's not totally unscrewed yet. Now we can drop the magnet down the hole, and out comes the spark plug. And we can see now, it's actually not terrible. A little bit of material taken off underneath, but nice coloring on the strap. Clearly this thing is running right on the money. And as you saw earlier, we're just replacing them with the NGK iridiums. Generally, I would always kind of recommend the manufacturer spark plugs just because, but if you ever just happen to see it, my last Acura I had, I bought the factory spark plugs and they were NGKs. So I figured I'll skip that. I know Motorcraft has their own stuff, so I'm not going to have those issues with Ford, but I figured, you know what, I just throw the NGKs in them anyway. Very simple going the other way around. I just put it down in the hole gently so we don't bend the straps and cause issues for no reason. Hand thread it in like I'm doing until you feel it tighten up, which it should be any second now. Come on. Right there. Put the ratchet back on it, and just a little bit on there. Drop our coil back in, which, like I said, highly suggested to generally replace these every now and again, which sounds crazy because they aren't exactly cheap and it's coil on plug. So there's 6 of them, so that can add up pretty quick. Just tighten that up a little bit. It really does not need to be very tight. It wasn't very tight to begin with when it came off. Put the clip back in here. And then we'll just move down the line doing all 6 of these. Oh, that one's kind of tight. Same thing, really not terrible. A little burnt up. So that's the passenger side all buttoned up. Now on the driver's side, there's a couple more things in the way here. Mainly just your big air box. You can remove it if you want to. It's really not that necessary. And I believe that is your regulator there. Kind of in the way right here, but not enough that's going to be an issue. All right, so this little clip right here ends up being in your way. And to mitigate that, at the very bottom here, you got to push this tab down. And what I did was just use a screwdriver to simply push it out. And then once you do that, you can get your coil. All right. Finally got the last one out. Pretty much looks the exact same as all the other ones, which in my opinion are in very average condition, I would say. But if you are new to EcoBoost ownership, you would know, or you would like to know, one of the very first things here is that these engines, the 3.5 especially, I believe, pretty much eat spark plugs. It is not uncommon at all for people to be running through spark plugs every 20 to 30,000 miles. Some people are as lucky as getting 100. I'm assuming this truck has about 140,000 miles, 145 almost, actually. Getting really close to that 150 mark. And I'm going to assume that those plugs have been done at least once, maybe twice. I don't know, though. What I do know, however, is that with 6 new ones, it's going to be good for at least a little bit. I literally just have to drop the last one in the hole there and then put everything back together. So, with that last plug in now, I can literally just clip this in here, push in my plug for the coil, oh come on, there we go, push my little tab in, put this little cover back on. Put the engine cover back in place. Put all my tools away, and that is basically it. Start her up. Plug in the old code reader. If I can find it. Come on now. Oh yeah, there's the spot. And just delete all the existing codes, which one said cylinder 3. Let's see, engine light gone. It is, however, important to note that it was a flashing engine light, which means random misfire. However, it stored cylinder 3 in the computer. So let's go see if it made a difference. I really hope it did. Fresh spark plugs are nice to have because it's right up there with, you know, a fresh air filter, any of those little basic maintenance things. It just runs so much better right off the hop. So we'll get up to speed a little bit here and do that exact same 50 to 70 passing test that before fired off a flashing engine light and kind of really bogged the truck down. So here we are at 50 miles an hour. We will get on it. And I like it. I like it. Problem solved. Very small part of me thought, oh man, it says cylinder 3 in the code reader. I might get stuck with having to change a coil. And at that point, I would just change all 6, obviously. I mean, that's kind of how I came up with the spark plugs. I mean, I knew that a flashing, you know, engine light every time is 99% of the time that I have seen it is specifically just the plugs, because people normally just never change them until they go bad, right? And I think this might have been that case. Like I said, I believe this is on the second, or well, maybe now third set, but I've only had this truck for about 15,000 miles. So a lot of things are still kind of new to me. So in that little bit, I just did the throttle body. That was cheap, easy, 4 bolts, took 10 minutes. Even doing the spark plugs on this thing just now, you know what? I probably spent more time trying to make a video than I did actually changing the spark plugs. And I'll bet you that I probably did them still in about 20 minutes. And the average person, if you've never done it before, you can easily change spark plugs. I promise you, on this truck, you will have it figured out with the most basic handful of tools. Flat screwdriver, you know, something to pry with, magnet, or something to get the old plugs out with. Very simple stuff. And again, you will save probably $500 or $600 at the dealership doing it yourself. And if you end up finding this video helpful, don't hesitate to hit the old like and subscribe button and the old comment in the section. Let me know how it might have helped you.